We're going to bring that sidebar back again because we want to talk about what shows up in the quick filters in the sidebar. When you delay a work order, like we talked about, it moves to the sidebar here. So my delayed work order is here. If I have 4 or 5 or 6 delayed work orders, they will always reside here, even when they come into my active list. And this is important to remember. It might show up in my active list as a delayed work order, which means I've delayed it to the day that it shows up, right? But it does not leave this part of the system. So if I had 6 delayed work orders in there, all 6 would still be there, even though 1 is in my active list. And this is the checks and balances within the maintenance care system that have been built into it that allow us to keep on top of things without spending a lot of time, but again, doing those checks and balances, right? So again, if I clicked on my delayed work order, I've got my notes column added now, remember? And I can look at all the notes on my delayed work orders. Oh, that part came in. I can go in and change that status to pending now because the part is here, update my notes, and now I only have 5 delayed work orders. So again, I'm checking first my open work orders within my 30-day filter or whatever filter I have set. And then I see I have a whole bunch of pending. I'm going to go and run through my pending work orders first. Maybe they have to be reassigned because maybe I have it assigned to a certain person and they're off on vacation right now, and now I can reassign it to somebody else. Okay, and then I could look and see if I've got any others, and then I can filter by new, and then again I can go back to my active work orders. Okay, older work orders. So this is something to keep in mind because this is a 30-day window, remember? So anything older is going to show up here. Again, I have the ability in a really quick and efficient way to be able to check on those work orders. Now, if you're doing this on a daily basis, so if you're sitting down at your computer in the morning, you should be looking and logging into maintenance care and getting a general idea on what is in the system and what you're doing. That means setting your filters and then going over here. Do I have any older work orders? Right? So if I'm checking that, I've missed a couple of new work orders. Well, if you monitor your system this way, it's really hard to miss those work orders coming in. Then I've got my delayed. Remember, we talked about that. And then we've got reopened. Now, we talked about reopened and how you can reopen, but what people might not know is there's another functionality to reopened. And that is when somebody puts a work order in through the request page, and if the email function in that field is part of it, there's an acknowledgement that goes out, and there are things within the system that you can turn on notifications, specifically for a closed notification as an example. Well, the person who got that notification can respond to that notification email, which means that in the maintenance care system, if you haven't reopened the email or reopened the work order, then it would flag it for an email response. So then if you go to your reopened, there will be an email here that would tell you, why it wasn't closed. Why did this accidentally get closed? So, and the reason that its functionality within maintenance care was used that way is because reopened actually is not something that's really utilized in the system. It just allows you to do it. So you don't usually reopen a work order, but it flags it really quickly for you, right? Because the numbers are so low with those stats. No, that doesn't mean you can't reopen a work order. You absolutely can. That's totally up to you. But it allows you to, again, navigate through some of those things that might fall into a little bit of an outside window.